Hey everybody, how's it going? Hopefully the audio's coming through nice and crispy. I am excited to be with you all tonight. I've got a lot of gigs coming up, but nothing tonight. So here I am. I'm pretty excited to be hanging out. I have a really funny idea I've been messing around with for a little while, and it's something I think I'm going to turn into a video series. If we can get enough participation tonight, then we'll do it. That'd be great. And if not, then I'll just hold on to it and make it a video, and we'll just do it that way. It's good to see you, Big Hands. Thanks for being here tonight. I really appreciate you. I'm starting a little bit early, as you can tell. Usually I'm on at 9, so some people might be like, "Whoa, what's up with that? Are we gonna be? What's going on?" So starting a little bit early. Got I don't know, just had the itch, I guess, to get on. I've been trying to shoot about a video a day right now. Getting some video content recorded, not edited yet, but just kind of been really trying to dig my heels back into YouTube content. So I just couldn't wait to jump on. You can see in the back there, I've got some moving boxes. Hopefully, I'm not making you moving or motion sickness. But that's I'm starting to move here. I'll give you a more of a pan over. There you go. Got a lot of moving boxes. You see the little Debbie here. I wish I had that many snack cakes. That's actually I went to Walmart on their restock day, and I talked to some of the vendors there, and I went, "Can I have some boxes?" And they're like, "Absolutely, you can. It saves me a trip." And I was like, "Thank you." So I just loaded up my cart with tons of boxes and was able to walk out without spending very much money at all. So, yeah, got a disgusting number of boxes. Any thoughts on the color? Just the ones I shared with you. I thought it was really cool looking. I don't think I've seen one like that before. Does it have a name? Is it something you created? Is it something that you found somewhere? What is it? But no additional thoughts besides what we talked about on Messenger. So let's see if I can get that. Does not look even. Yeah, it's a fashion accessory. Look at that. These are the nicest headphones I've ever owned. I know it's a non sequitur, but golly, I love these headphones. If the company who created them wants to save me a bag of money, I'm not gonna stop them. These are the SteelSeries Arctis 7s, and I really like them. Best headphones I've ever owned. God, I love these things. Some of my favorite possessions right here. I'm a headphone guy. I like my headphones. But I've been actually, I don't know if you guys noticed, but on videos too, I've been sharing some. I've been upping the quality a little bit. It's a little bit more of a, I will admit, it's a little bit more of a chore. But I've been shooting stuff with this camera again, with this guy. And my latest video, my talk about the Quiver wallet, which is sitting right here on my desk. This is I recorded that review with this guy. Normally I'm shooting on my webcam because it's got really good quality to it, and so it's easy just to turn on the computer, get the audio from the microphone, and just record everything straight in OBS. But you really can't beat the quality of an actual dedicated camera. It looks really good, and so I was very pleased with the bokeh and the quality of the richness and sharpness of the video. So I was very excited about that. I don't even know if you guys noticed. If you did, let me know. But for me, it just felt like getting a taste of how I used to make videos. Just a random brain fart messing with cards. See, yeah, man, you got to share that kind of stuff. That's cool to share. Like, I did the what was it? Oh, the kind of pass trick, the easy pass thing, the rotation covering the large action covering the small. That was something that I've just been messing around with, and I was like, maybe somebody will get some value out of this. I'll put it up there, and people really seem to like that video. So that's cool. That's sometimes you just mess around with something and you just go, wait a minute, that makes sense. I should do that. And that was a cool video. Let's see if maybe if I can pull it up. Do you guys, Big Hands, do you mind me sharing that on stream? If I can find it, pull it up. I'd like to show everybody what it was. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you liked it. I'm pulling up the YubTubs. Or not the YubTubs, the Facebooks. Thing is, I've got like 4 different Facebook profiles. You know what my name, and then I have like I have like the pages. I guess not profiles, but I have pages for two other businesses, the YouTube channel, and then another one. And so people are always messaging me on one of them, and I'm like, I can never keep up with where people are sending me requests and stuff. So it's really tough. And I know that people like send me a message, and then it takes me a year to get back to them, and it's because it's like, oh, I didn't even know you messaged me, so I'm sorry. Looking here to see if I can find my messages for the Magic Minute Facebook page, because I think that's where you messaged me. And if you're cool with me sharing it on stream, I will do that. Cool. All right. No, don't play anything yet, because I want to share it on the camera. Can I do that?
When I first...
Oh, man. Let's see. Is it showing an audio source? Oh, boy. Come on. Stop that. You're going to get me screwed up with the YouTube thing, and I'm going to get demonetized. I don't need that. I said stop playing the video. All right. Let's see. Can I mute this? Okay. I want to pull that video in and show everybody what you sent me. That's not it. I don't want the Russian genius. Come on. Come on, guys. All right. Well, maybe we'll mess with that in a second. But right now, do it. Okay, I will do it. But I have to figure out how to do it without getting demonetized, because it's playing ads that I'm not getting paid for, mind you. Check out my color change, open a new tab. So I don't have my OBS set up to like do video shares anymore, so I've got to like figure out how to redo that. Okay. Let's try this. I've got like 17 million tabs open. I'm glad when I bought my my monitor for when I knew I was going to be going to a gaming PC, I bought something that people might go, oh, why'd you do that? I bought a 21:9 aspect ratio monitor. It's a super ultra wide monitor, and I did that because I knew I was going to have a bunch of tabs open, and I wanted to keep to one monitor if possible. So, and I still find myself wanting more than one monitor. So. Never enough space, I guess, for all the digital real estate. When I do a live stream, it's different too, because I've got like all these different elements I want to bring open. So let's figure out how to bring you in, and I'll get that up, and I want to show you guys the window capture, or what, maybe. Yeah, I think that's what I want. Window. Cool card trick. Boom. Sweet. And then I just gotta make it look pretty. All right. Boom. Look at that. It looks like I'm watching it with you, because I am. All right. Cool. So here's... Oh, come on, you son of a gun. All right, here we go. Here's Big Hands. He shared this with me on Messenger the other day. It's pretty neat. Like I told you, there's a tiniest bit of flash whenever you're staring at it, and you know the camera is never forgiving on that. But that's a cool color change. That is a cool color change. Boom, boom. Nice. Yeah, and I appreciate you sharing that with me. That is really cool. I can put those on right now. Boom. Nerd stuff. Man, I'll tell you, I love nerd stuff. I'm so big into nerd stuff. It's not awful flash. It's just the tiniest flash, and it's like something that's not. It's not a big deal. If you're trying to fool somebody with it on the internet, they're gonna catch it because they're gonna be staring at it. Just from my own personal experience, I know how hard people stare and rewatch the videos. In fact, I count on it because I want those extra views from people replaying the video. But now people will sit there and go, "Oh, you're not gonna fool me," and they'll stare at it and watch it. So that's just what I noticed. I think it's not awful. Give yourself some credit. Give yourself some credit. And if anybody had any questions about why his name is Big Hands, he has very large hands, as you can see. I mean, that's got to be incredible, though, to be able to have that. I mean, like, nobody would suspect you of palming a card, right? Or you could, I don't know if you can you palm a card actually in your palm and keep your fingers open? I imagine you might be able to, which would be incredible. So I wanted to try something, and it's actually good that we brought up the window sharing deal thing that I just did with the video, because I had an idea a little while ago. I was playing around with, you guys all know, I'm sure, ChatGPT, which is if you're not familiar with it, it's an AI program that generates text based off of prompts. You can have conversations with it. You can ask it to generate content for you, all kinds of neat stuff. And I was playing with it the other day. And I say the other day, it was about 2 weeks ago. And I thought, wouldn't it be interesting if I asked it to invent a magic trick for me? I said, "What, ChatGPT, invent a magic trick for me." And I gave it some parameters, like on what materials the trick used, and then it spat out an answer. And some of the results were really hilarious. And so I was gonna make a video on it. I was gonna make record a video of it. But I thought it'd be fun if I could show you some of the stuff that it comes up with. If I can get it to cooperate with me here, and I will bring it into on screen so you guys can see it as well. All right, window capture. Let's try. ChatGPT. Delete window capture. Okay, I know this is just the most riveting content in the world, isn't it? But I want to make sure I set this up. I wasn't going to do it unless there was enough people here, but it seems like there's enough that we might be able to have this kind of fun. Okay. All right. Hopefully you guys can see that all right. I'm going to move my face over to the side a little bit. Hello. And then we can play with ChatGPT. All right. So if I say something like, let's do this. Please invent a magic trick for me. Oh, let's before we do that, we'll just be polite. Let's be polite, right? They may take over the world someday. I want them to remember I was a nice guy. Hello. How can I assist you today? I would like your help inventing a magic trick. Sure, I'd be happy to help. What kind of magic would you like to invent? I would like to invent a magic trick using playing cards. Great, there are countless magic tricks you can perform using playing cards. Here's a simple, an idea for a simple yet effective trick. The effect. They even use the correct terminology. They use an effect. I like that. The magician shuffles the deck of cards and asks the spectator to select any card. The card is then returned to the deck, which is shuffled again. Despite the card being shuffled, the magician is able to find the selected card with ease. Method. Number 1, start by shuffling the deck of cards thoroughly, making sure that the cards are well mixed. 2, ask the spectator to choose any card from this deck and remember it. 3, ask the spectator to look at their selected card, take note of the card directly above it. Will be called the key card. 4, ask the spectator to return their card to the deck and then shuffle the deck, making sure that the key card remains on top. Hold the deck face down and go through the cards one by one, asking the spectator to tell you when you get to their selected card. As you go through the cards, watch for the key card. It will help you locate the selected card. When you get to the key card, the selected card will be directly beneath it. You can then reveal the selected card in any way you choose. Of course, this is just one idea for a magic trick using playing cards. You can modify or customize the trick to suit your own preferences and style. That's actually the trick I teach. When somebody says, can you teach me a trick with playing cards? That's the trick that I teach. So, score 1 for ChatGPT. That's actually a legitimate method. It's a little loose on the details there. It's not exactly easy to understand, but I think it gets the idea across. Now let's try something else. Let's say I would like you to create a magic trick. I need some suggestions. Can you guys give me some suggestions in the chat on what objects we should use to create the magic trick with? What I did is I said random things like I need you to create a magic trick for me with a loaf of bread and a shoe, or something to that effect. So I would love your guys' suggestions for what we should ask ChatGPT to create a trick with. And if we get any good ones, I will actually make a video and I will try to perform it as described by ChatGPT. So this could be fun or horrible or awesome. I don't know. So I'd like to create a magic trick with a Coca-Cola bottle, because I have one, and a deck of cards. Yeah, that's just mine, and we'll see what it gives me. And if you guys want to join in and give me some prompts, I would love that. Sure, here's an idea for a magic trick using a Coca-Cola bottle and a deck of cards. Effect: the magician places the deck of cards on the table and hands a Coca-Cola bottle to the spectator. The spectator is asked to shake the bottle and pick a card at random from the deck. The spectator memorizes the card and returns it to the deck. The deck is then shuffled, and the magician places the bottle on top of the deck. With the wave of the hand, the selected card mysteriously appears inside the bottle. That would be a really good trick. Well, how does it work? Well, he's going to tell us, or it's going to tell us. Before the trick begins, secretly take the selected card from the deck and fold it in half lengthwise. This will make it easier to insert the card into the bottle later on. Place the folded card in your pocket or another hiding place where you can easily access it. Place the deck of cards face down on the table and invite a spectator to choose a card at random. Ask them to remember the card and return it to the deck. As you shuffle the deck, secretly peek at the bottom card. This will be the key card. Once the deck is shuffled, place the bottle on top of the deck with the neck of the bottle resting on the top of the key card. This will ensure the key card remains on the bottom of the deck while the folded card is on top. Do you see why there's already some problems? Hold the bottle in one hand and cover the mouth of the bottle with your other hand. Shake the bottle gently, making sure the folded card drops into the bottle without being seen. Okay. Remove your hand from the bottle and show the card has vanished from the deck. Invite the spectator to examine the deck if they wish. Hold the bottle up to the light and point out where there's something inside. Unscrew the cap and carefully pour out the folded card, which will unfold as it falls out of the bottle. The spectator can then verify that the card they select is indeed the one that has mysteriously appeared inside the bottle. I hope you find this idea helpful. Remember to practice the trick thoroughly before performing it in front of an audience to ensure a smooth performance. Okay, so this is funny to me. This is funny to me because none of that actually makes sense. Like each pocket works by itself, but it doesn't actually rely on the information that preceded it. Because how do you take the card? Like, it doesn't talk about like using a force or duplicate card at all. The card that they select is somehow in your pocket, and then gets into the deck or into the bottle without being seen. Interesting, to say the least. So it's not going to be creating any. It's not replacing us yet. It's not replacing magicians yet. Thank goodness. But I think this would be fun. So if you guys like the idea of me like getting some prompts from the comments and then actually trying the trick as it's described by ChatGPT, it kind of reminds me of the vanishing bandana trick. It's kind of funny, and so I like the idea of being able to try to perform the trick as explained by ChatGPT. In fact, I think that's a direction that I'm going to go with the presentation. I'm going to use ChatGPT to kind of like help me. It'll be like the modern day equivalent of using a book on tape to learn magic tricks. So I think it's fun. Some other stuff I wanted to tell you guys about that's coming down the pipeline pretty soon that I'm pretty excited about is I'm going to be talking about. You guys saw me do the review on the Quiver wallet already. I have one in the pipeline for the Insta gimmick. That's something that you get included with the Quiver wallet. There were some requests for that in the comments on my last video. And after that, there is going to be a review on this. And this is probably my favorite magic tool I've picked up in a very long time. I'm probably going to buy another one. I adore this thing. I think it's probably the best tool to add like 5 or 6 really hard-hitting magic tricks immediately into your repertoire. It's incredible. It is one of the best made tools and one of the best tools that exists. And there's some things in there that kind of add to how great it is. But I'm excited to talk about this, so I hope you guys want to hear about it. Yes, I'm going to go grab a glass of water real quick. I finished the one I have here on the desk, and then I will be right back. Okay? See you guys in just a minute. Do. Okay, I'm back. So, so that's a fun idea, I think. So I'm gonna mess around with that. I'm gonna create some really interesting content around that idea. I think of having ChatGPT invent the trick for me. Some other things I'm thinking about. That's gonna be in my lecture notes, by the way. So pick it up wherever you buy your fine magic products. Let's turn that off and fix my screen because I look crazy. Yeah, no, there-ish. Okay, yeah, that'll work. So, some other things I wanted to mention too is I really appreciated. I don't know if you guys saw, but I'm a big fan of David at Magic Orthodoxy. I'm sure some of you guys watch David and watch his reviews, which you should. They're great. They're the standard, right? That everybody kind of bases their stuff off of. I also do magic reviews, and I got a nice little shout out from David, which was really nice. I appreciated it a lot. He was like, "Hey, somebody else you should check out." the Magic Minute, the QR Genie review. So if you haven't watched that video yet, go watch it and leave a comment. Say, hey, oh yeah, watch the Magic Minute. That'd be really cool. I'd like to do a collaboration with him at some point, but we'll see if that happens. Maybe if the fans demand it. I don't know. Got an exciting week ahead of me. I'm gonna be at two shows tomorrow. One right after the other. One in Fort Worth and the other one in Royce City. So I've got a very busy evening tomorrow evening. It's gonna be kind of crazy. And then I also have another show on Sunday, and then I just got booked yesterday for a show on the 24th. And then I got some in March now. So it's weird, there's this thing, and I'll share this with you as a professional magician. Something that I've noticed is that it takes a while to kind of plant all the seeds that you need to. What's up, It? Good to see you. Thanks for being here tonight. I was started a little bit early too, so that didn't help you at all, I'm sure, but I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for being here. We plant all these seeds, and it takes years to do that, right? To establish yourself as a person in the industry, to gain the trust of people in the industry and make a name for yourself. And once you do that, then it gets really, really easy to book gigs. At the beginning, it's going to be really tough. You're not going to know how to, you may not have a clear idea of what your shows are, so you can figuring that out. What actually products you sell is important. But beyond that is being able to be in a position where you have enough experience where you can recommend what's going to work best for people in certain situations. Being able to hear them out, see what they need, and then being able to help them with the best suggestions. Because people don't know, right? You're the expert. They're calling you. Sometimes people have a very strong idea of what they want already. Maybe they've already worked with a magician, or they're an event planner or something. But a lot of the time, you're the first magician they'll ever call or talk to. And it's your job to help guide them through the process and give them what they may not even know they want, right? Or need. So that's important. Moon Eater's here. It's here. Man, dialysis stuff. I hear that's not a fun experience. I'm sorry. Yeah. So that's some stuff right there for pro tips, and it gets easier to book things over time. I used to freak out. I've been doing this, I guess this is my 13th year in business, and I used to freak out every year. As soon as you do a show, the show's over, and now you've got to get another show. I like to say I have a job, and then I'm immediately unemployed as soon as the gig's over, right? Because they got to go find another job, and because you have that. Now, eventually, you'll get to the point where you'll get clients who use you all the time. I'm in a fortunate and blessed position, and I don't use that term lightly, or often, but I'm in a very fortunate position to have some really great clients that call me every month, and so that's really great to have that kind of consistency. But it didn't happen overnight. It took a lot of work, and it continues to take a lot of maintenance, relationship maintenance, and constantly delivering the best that I have to offer. And you get to do cool stuff if you can keep that up. 5 hours 3 times a week. Boo. That's poop. I'm sorry. Check your messenger before the end of the stream. All right, I'm checking it now. You know what? It looks like my son. Listen, it sounds like my son left or started an alarm, so I'm going to go turn that off before it wakes up the whole house. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Yeah, it looks like my son likes to set random alarms on our smart speaker. I'm not going to say the name of it, but you know what I'm talking about. And start random alarms at different times of day. The joys of having a 5-year-old, almost 6-year-old. Sorry about that. Yeah, I would say that's probably of the two options. That's probably the better of the two. So, do you do anything to keep you busy? Do you like you practice magic while you're doing that, or do you watch YouTube videos? What do you do whenever you're having to sit there? 'Cause it sounds boring as heck. I am pulling up the photo that you told me I needed to pull up the photo, so I'm pulling it up. I'm gonna look at it before I just put it on screen. Hey, all right, I'm gonna share this. Look at that. Look at that. I want to highlight that. So I had asked Big Hands earlier if how he palmed the card, if he could, you know, because he's got such large hands. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. It's tiny. You could probably fit like 4 decks of cards in your hands from fingertips to wrist. That's amazing. That's amazing. Wow. Wow. That's cool. Thank you for sharing that. Very cool. Oh, cable TV? Yeah, that works. I remember whenever cable TV used to pay for cable to have television without commercials. That's how old I am. Those are some big hands. Hey, Robert's here. Wow. Hey, Robert. We got the whole crew out. Look at you guys. Thank you. Thank you for being here tonight. It's like that's a bridge card. Wow, that's awesome. I'm still looking at the picture over here. It's still on my screen, so that's very cool. Wow. Oh yeah, you've got some options with what you can do with magic. You could palm a, gosh, couldn't you? You could palm a, I don't know, like a CD. That's amazing. Yeah, look at this. We got everybody out here. This is great. This is great. Thank you all for being here tonight. This is really nice. I started a little bit early, so I'm sorry that some of you guys didn't catch the first part of the stream, but it was me just kind of waffling on as I usually do, so you didn't very much miss very much. Cable being $9 a month. Wow. I remember when you used to get a Coca-Cola for a nickel. I'm teasing you. Yeah, no, that's amazing. Yeah, you couldn't get it for that now. People are paying like I have a friend who he's paying like $100 a month for cable. I'm like, what are you doing? That's crazy. Just go watch YouTube videos. They're free. You know, look, hi. It's a good time. We like hanging out. You don't have to spend $100 a month. Although, if you want to, here's a perfect time to put my sponsor thing in here, or not my sponsor, but my own. I'm my own sponsor. This channel is fueled by ad revenue, but not that much ad revenue. Most of the dollars and cents I get for this channel to keep it going and to get products to review and improve the quality and do all the stuff, stay up to date. is provided by you guys. So in the form of members, right, supporters, or Minotaurs. Those are the two levels I have. You get some cool benefits with joining either of those. They certainly help a lot. So if you're into that, I would invite you to take a look at what kinds of cool stuff you have on offer if you join the channel. It's not very expensive, 99 cents a month or $2.99 a month. That's less than a cup of coffee a month. So, and it certainly helps me out. I have some amazing supporters and Minotaurs right now who really help fuel the channel, and it wouldn't hurt to have more. If I get one more member, then I can add more custom emoji, which is kind of my goal right now, to add some more custom emoji. So that's my. And also a big thank you to Moon Eater for the fabulous donation the other night. That was very unexpected and appreciated, and it went right into the channel. So thank you very much for that contribution. That was very, very, very nice of you. Yeah, man, I'll tell you, that's exactly what I'm saying. Prime and Netflix are cheaper than that, and that's not just Prime Video. That's like, well, you could. Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, you can pay like, what is it, like 100? Even they even up the rate. It's now like $120 or something a year for Prime. But that's certainly less than $100 a month. It's like that a year, and you get delivery, or you get like free shipping and lots of stuff. You get music, you get books, you get video, of course. Yeah, that's a way better deal. That's a way better deal. I don't get it. Thank you. You're the best, Moon Eater. Thank you. I have the best group of people on YouTube. I really do. I'm so fortunate for each and every one of you. Thank you, guys. It really helps. And I hate and I hesitate to even talk about that stuff because I'm a very humble person and modest, and I don't like to bring that stuff up. But it certainly helps. It really does. And so I'm compelled to, even though it's really stepping out of my comfort zone. Something else I have, and if you guys are into it, I don't know if you've watched like on the bottom of probably on the bottom of this video too, but on the bottom of most of my videos, those products for purchase that are under there, like the magic whatever, those are mine. I created those, and those are up for sale. I have t-shirts, coffee cups, phone cases, stickers, all kinds of cool stuff. And I really haven't updated the selection in a while because I haven't seen anybody really nibbling on it. But if that's something you guys are into, if you want to get like some custom swag from the channel, some cool stuff to show your support, and also support the channel in the process. If you guys are into that, I can start creating some more designs. I'm thinking about adding creating like Magic Minute t-shirts, and some cool t-shirt designs and stuff. That's only if y'all are into it, but, Oh, yeah. Okay, let's see. There's a video. Ouch! Yeah, that doesn't look pleasant at all. That's a big needle. That looks like a needle you use to like flavor inject a turkey. Good Lord, man. I'm not going to share that one on stream because I might get demonetized for doing that. But yeah, that does not look comfortable. Oh, Don's here. What's up, Don? How you doing? Wow. And thank you. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you and Benny and everybody who's helping out with. Thank you, guys. You guys are the best. Really. Something I realized the other day, because I have a local magic club, okay, that I don't attend very frequently. I used to go to the club whenever Diamond Jim used to go more often, and then he had to stop going for time and commitment reasons, and I did too because I had children, and that made it a lot harder to make the meetings. But I had a friend who recently did their first lecture there, and while it's information that like he and I take for granted because it's just because we perform for a living, I was surprised by the comments after the fact about like how much valuable information the group felt that they received. And I guess there's this, and it made me think about it because it's like, for me, I forget that not everybody knows what I know, right? And so it blew my mind when he's like, "Yeah, that was amazing." Like, the stuff he talked about that, and he's a great guy, and he's very intelligent and an amazing performer, and one of my oldest magic friends. But it's stuff that like him and I just kind of go like, like I'm like, well, yeah, of course that's what you do. And I realized that that information is hard won, and it's not a matter of course because I know it and use it over the last 10 or 13 years, whatever it's been, doesn't mean that everybody knows that. And so I was like, wait a minute, maybe I have enough information to write my own lecture. So now that's got me thinking about writing my own lecture because there's probably a lot of stuff that I know that other people would like to know, and I forget that. So I think I probably will write some kind of lecture or have something in the near future for that that I could share with you guys if you're interested in that. I'm also still trying to get TAOM to pick me up as a lecturer, so we'll see if that happens. But I'm not good at this whole, like, how do I monetize my whatever, my platform? I hate the idea of thinking about even doing that. So I don't think in those directions. But as I'm trying to move more and more into YouTube, I'm forced to think about those things because I would like to do this more often. I realized over the last 3 months of last year how much I missed regularly creating content, getting on these live streams with you guys, thinking about content, shooting the content, editing the content, putting it all together. And I miss it. And so I went, oh, wait a minute. I really need to make this I really need to make this a priority and really, really try really hard if I'm going to do this for a living or at least as a solid supplemental income. And forces me to think about the monetization part. Thank you, Moon Eater. It's weird because like there's a hubris to it, right? There's a hubris of you go, well, I'm amazing, and I want to tell all of you how I got to be so amazing. Like I know that's not really what it is. I know people need that information that needs to be shared across whatever, but I can't help but feel some kind of humility about things and go, well, what do I have to offer really? What can people really glean from me? But I've been doing this a long time and I do okay at it. And maybe I should share that. And so that's kind of where my brain is right now. I'm going, maybe I do have value I can offer in that department. I just never imagined myself being a content creator for one. I never really imagined that, and I suddenly became one. And I also never imagined myself being somebody who really engaged with the magic community very much. Early in my career, I really didn't spend much time with other magicians. I really didn't. And I do somewhat now. I have some very close friends who have known a really long time who are magicians, and that tends to be my circle of friends, or people who know magic or are magically inclined or are full-time performing magicians, because that's who I'm around most. But I never thought about like creating stuff for magicians or facing inwards. I've always thought, okay, well, I'm a magician. I go perform for lay audiences, or I go do my craft or my whatever and apply my knowledge for lay audiences. But now I'm going, you know what? There might be some stuff here that might help people. So now maybe I can be that person that I needed when I was starting out. And I did have those mentors. I did have people who helped me out. I had lunch with, and David Hyra comes to mind. David was amazing businessman and an awesome magician. And he and most importantly, a terrific human being. And he's in college, man. He's in college. He's busy. He's got a job. He's going to college. He's a young man on the way. You know, he's got, my dog's moaning out there or sleeping and making noise. I can't tell. Anyway, yeah, maybe I need to start thinking about this stuff more. So, well, thanks, Don. I hope so. I never wanted to be just the tutorial channel. That's something that even whenever I started out, I thought the tutorials were a means to an end. The tutorials would help bring in new people, and they did. Right? Being on Scam Nation is an amazing experience. I will go back and I will do more with them. Doing my own tutorials, which are rare, but I do them. But only whenever it's something I think is really good, right? There's a lot of just faff out there, so I only do a tutorial whenever something I really am excited about and can see myself actually using. I think the reviews are valuable. I hope the reviews are valuable. There are not a lot of voices in the Magic review area. There's there's Wizard Magic Review. Craig Petty, formerly of Wizard Magic Review. David at Magic Orthodoxy, and myself. And there's a couple of other guys out there too. Don't get me wrong, but I think that I have a unique perspective because I'm a full-time professional magician. That's all I do. That's the only way I make a living, and so I have a very stringent set of rules on what I'm going to pick up and recommend. Right? Pocket space is at a premium. I have a certain aesthetic, which means that whenever I'm working in a corporate environment, I can't bring out a bill tube or something that looks like a silly, goofy prop necessarily, because I'm fighting against that constantly. I'm fighting against people trying to put me in a mental box, which is a kid's birthday party, which kids' birthday parties are great. But being that my end client or my end goal clients are trade show vendors, if they go, oh, what do I need a magician for? They pull out, quarters behind the ear and they do kids' birthday parties. They're not going to be able to see me in the light that I need them to see me in, so that I can actually help them with their in-person marketing. And so I'm always fighting against being put into a box, right? A mental box where they go, oh, I know exactly what he does. I don't know anything about him, but I already know who he is, right? Because that's terrible. And we do that as a as a shortcut mentally. We all do that. We all put things into boxes and kind of go, it's kind of like this, kind of like that, or oh, I get it. It's like that. It's like no, it's nothing like that. And here's why. So I'm always fighting that. So whenever I bring out a prop, the perfect example, it's very difficult to bring this into a corporate environment and not have people think about me as a kid's magician. Kids magicians are amazing. Whenever I say that, please don't take that as me going, I'm a kids magician. There are Silly Billy. Guy's a freaking beast. Who's the other guy? He's got a funny name. It's like Cucumber or something. Those guys are killing it. I mean, they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year doing kids' birthday parties. They're kicking butt. Zivvy Kivvy, another one. These guys are incredible. They're kicking so much butt. My demeanor doesn't really work in that environment. I can do with them. I love kids. But the material that I do, the material I'm interested in doing, and my goals, my passions, which are to help businesses connect to their clients, potential clients in their community, I can't get as excited about it or fully apply everything I have to give a value if I'm not working in certain venues. And so I'm unfulfilled, I guess, in those roles because I can't give everything that I know I can. So I'm very picky about material because it's got to fit a certain aesthetic. It's got to fit in a certain light. It has to be performed in a certain way. It has to have valuable pocket space. Pocket space is extremely valuable. It has to reset very quickly. These are things that I really care about. you know? So, excuse me for a minute. My dog is moaning very badly. I got to make sure she's okay. I'll be right back. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry about that, guys. She was just, I guess she just wanted in the room, but it sounded really narrowly. So I was like, cool. I'll make sure she's okay. She's just being moany. She's being a little baby. She just went later in her bed. Yeah, she is my fur baby. I like her. You know what? I have a nickname for her, which no one knows because I only call her that in front of her. When I take her out to go to the bathroom, I call her my Tinkle Bear. Come on, Tinkle Bear, let's go pee. Yeah, I like that dog a lot. She's a good dog. She's a very, very obedient, very sweet dog, and she just loves to love you. So, I'm sorry, I'm trying to catch up with the comments. I get to see a face with the name. Oh, hey, yeah. Oh, you got a. Oh, yeah, you are wearing a mask. But yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it's good to see you. It's good to see you. I don't think. Yeah, I've never got to see your face before. I'm excited. Thank you. That's cool. Yeah. Pretty good looking fella. What kind of shows do I do? Most of the shows. So I do a mix of things. I only market to. When I say market, I only apply my effort and dollars towards corporate events, and that's a very large category. But that's award banquets, sales kickoffs, sales meetings, trade shows are a big part of my business. They're coming back. Any time that a company meets, corporate trainings, conventions, all of those things. And the reason I do that is because I have the most I have the most to offer in those scenarios. I know how to help those companies really connect with their employees and connect their employees together. My whole tagline is connecting hearts and minds, and that's what I do. And so anytime that businesses meet for some reason, or they have people meet for some reason, there's an opportunity to help facilitate that and make that a more memorable or powerful event for them. And so that's what I do. And I have a number of strategies for that. I also do house parties occasionally. I'll do a house party. I have those. The two programs that I have tomorrow are house parties, and then I do weddings. I actually do weddings as well. And so that's the bulk of the work that I do. Corporate events and trade shows, which are a whole different animal, and then occasional house parties and weddings. So those are, and they're great. They're wonderful. They're not for everybody. Not everybody's going to enjoy doing those kind of programs. Not everybody is suited for doing those types of programs. But if you are, it's been very rewarding work, and I've made some of my best friends of my whole life doing that type of work. But if you have if you guys have any specific questions about any of those things, of course, I'm happy to answer them to the best of my ability, as I'm speaking extemporaneously. Oh, thanks, Infinity TV. Thank you. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. And that's a very generous offer. Thank you. That's very kind of you to offer that. Um, Moon Eater has just sent me, and I wish I could. You know what I wish I could do is I wish I could say, hey, because he actually sent me a very nice, generous contribution the other night through one of the pay apps or the money transfer apps, and it was very kind of you, and I'm very grateful for that. And I wish there was a way to take that and then say apply that as a credit on YouTube. So like if you couldn't use YouTube service for whatever reason, which I know you can't, Moon Eater, but to be able to go, okay, yes, you've earned the credit for that, and then be able to use that in that fashion would have been really nice. Or gift, if I could gift a sub to somebody, that would be really helpful to be able to do occasionally that, like as a giveaway or something. Wouldn't that be neat? I wish I could do that, but I can't. At least not yet. I'm sure YouTube is going to figure that out soon enough. Yeah. So, yeah, I actually need to add some more content. Something I know, Don, you're going to be interested in. I know that you're going to like this. I posted a video a little while ago on the members page about making invisible elastic bands. And you had mentioned just recently on the comment that you wanted to see how they're made. And I will be doing that. In fact, I have to make some before next weekend. So I'll be recording my process for you and sharing that for members only. So that if you wanted to learn how to make for pennies on the dollar your own invisible elastic bands, how to acquire the material to make them very cheaply at your local grocery store, and then tie them yourself, and maybe share some ideas on how to use them. I will be doing that very soon, so that might be a reason for you to join. So if you've been looking for that, I will teach you for far less than it would cost you to go buy a pack of loops, right? So the commercial version of them, right? So I say loops. It's like Kleenex, right? Not all tissue are Kleenex, but I think you get the idea. Invisible elastic bands. So do you also go to conferences to help sell the idea of a product? So I do them for all kinds of reasons. For instance, there was a conference that I did for Ericsson. Now, Ericsson was not holding the conference. Ericsson is formerly of Sony Ericsson, which some of us older people probably remember. But Ericsson is a technology company, and they produce 5G antennas. And then they either rent or sell those, I suppose, to cell phone providers or cellular providers. And Ericsson was at a conference for Verizon, and they were trying to show off the speed and low latency and high bandwidth of their latest 5G antennas. And so to do that, they showed up at the conference, and they hired me, and then I was able to perform magic in real time and interact in real time with the people in Georgia. So I was here in Plano, Texas, which is where Ericsson's corporate headquarters is. I was in a green screen room, which I'm very familiar with, in front of a camera, and then I had an earpiece in my ear, and I had a little screen off to the side of the camera that I was looking at. And so the screen would show me the people passing by the booth, so I could see them. And then there were microphones on the outside of this box that I was being projected into, this hologram. And so I had a hologram presence there, and then I had a way to see and hear the people on the show floor. So I was able to perform magic for them and talk with them and interact with them, ask them their names, ask them to say stop and pick a card that way, and do all kinds of really cool stuff interactively. So that was an example where I didn't have to physically attend the conference, but was able to do that. And it's kind of It's kind of in the trade show category, but it was it was a conference. Performed like it was at a trade show, right? So that would be what I would do for a trade show. I try to help. What you're talking about, Moon Eater, is I try to with trade show clients. My whole job is to get people to stop at the booth and stay there and hear the company message and entertain them in the process. So I just did one this past January with a new client of mine, which they're amazing and I love them. They're so cool. And was able to get people to stop by the booth, hear about the product, get them to use, to remember what the product was, stand out in their minds, understand what the product did and does. And then after I had got them all excited and lathered up about it, they were able to say, okay, well, this is the product I'm looking for, or I enjoyed the presentation, but this is not a product that I need or I'm looking for right now. And then I would be able to take them and then pass them to the sales team that was on the show floor with me. So that's kind of how that works. Gather people together, inform them, educate them, entertain them, and then if it makes sense, have them go further into the sales process. So it's pretty cool. It's a really cool application of magic, right? But you also have to have the marketing mind, and you have to do all kinds of other things. But if you can, you got to have a pretty thick skin too, because a lot of the time people just walk by you and ignore you. And that happens too. That's okay. They have places to be. They have things to do, and you can't look at everything at the show. So sometimes you have to. But my job is to get those people to stop and to stay, right? So that's what I do. And of course, companies really appreciate that because that's what they're trying to do too. They're trying to get the passersby stop at their booth, learn what they're about. So that's what I help companies do. I see you the lobster bait for those hungry whales. Is that a Japanese expression? I'm not sure what that is. I've never heard that before. How do you pick magic effects that match the company you work for? That's a good question, Don. I don't. Now, there's different schools of thought on this. There are different schools of thought on this. There are those who believe that every time they do a show with a new client, they should take a look at what the product is or what the messaging is and then try to find tricks that suit that the best. That's not my opinion. I don't feel that that's a good thing because you will, for the same reason you don't perform a magic trick you just learned for an audience, for the same reason, right? It's got to be practiced, it's got to be flight tested, it's got to be polished, and it's got to be good before you go out and you just go take this to a paying gig and perform it for people. You have to put the work in and make sure that the effects that you're doing are good. So I have I don't know, about a dozen effects that I know like the back of my hand, and they're solid. They're good tricks. I know where all the dramatic points are. I know where people will tend to make jokes, and I have jokes back for them. And those they are well polished, fully realized routines, and because I already have that, and they're good, and I know they work for audiences universally, I can say, okay, well, I can look at those effects and I can say, okay, well, these are the places where in my patter where the messaging would go, right? So I send out a survey, right? So I send them a survey, they fill it out, and then I take the information I get from that, and I create a script outline. And then after I have the script outline, I send it to them with a brief description of what the trick is, and then the scripting that I plan to use to go along with that trick at different key moments of the routine to solidify whatever idea. And then it goes through a revision process. You get it back, you memorize it, you practice that, rehearse that, and then you go to the thing. So that's kind of now. Then of course the other camp is that you just go out and you search for tricks that will work for the thing. But the problem with that again is that you are learning new tricks constantly. So now you're making it doubly difficult on yourself because you're buying tricks that may or may not actually work for what you need them for. You could probably only use them once, and if the process between when you get hired for a show and you go to do a show is not so long that you can sit there and make it a fully polished routine necessarily for each individual trick and write scripting for each of those. So I'm a big believer in just having solid magic that you know really well, that is well suited for adaptability, and then do what we do best as magician and make it our own, and or the clients in that case, and then do magic that I know works. So that's my strategy. That's my mentality on the whole thing. You'll find people who will disagree with me on that, and that's fine. If they got something that works for them, then that's what they should do. This is what works for me and for plenty of other trade show magicians that came before me and are still working. So, but that's my answer. I don't change my show every single time because I don't need to. It's not like I'm trying to. It's the same thing, right? Like, yeah, you'll see the trick a million times, but for each audience, it's the first and only time that they will ever see that trick. So, do the lecture, Alan. Okay, I'll do the lecture. Maybe I will. I just don't know what to talk about. That's the thing, is that like I have this weird breadth of knowledge in certain things and then complete black holes in other things. And so like I don't feel like I have the authority to talk about stuff, or what would people want to hear about. None, unless I'm requested. This is a Moon Eater's question. How many tricks do you perform during the interview of a possible deal? None. And there's a reason for that too. If I do end up doing some magic, it's because they've requested to see some, which is fine and great, and that is actually to your benefit. But you want to get as many other people. You never want to do it one-on-one. You want to bring as many other people into the room with you as possible, and then share that excitement, right? And then you can do the thing where you go, well, you guys are excited. You guys like that. Just imagine how that's going to grab attention on the show floor, or how that's going to grab attention of your employees, right? How that's going to inspire them and excite them, right? Because there's what I do, and then there's what I really do, and this is something that David Hyra really drove home for me and helped me to understand that there's really two things you're doing in anything, not just in corporate entertainment, but in weddings, birthday parties, and not even just in magic, but just in the world. What do you do, and then what do you really do? What I do is I'm a magician, but what I really do is I connect people together. I connect hearts to minds. That's what I do. So there's what I do, and then there's what I really do, and being able to help those people that you're working for, potentially working with, is what do you really do? Not what do you do, but what do you really do? And that's how you get out of that box. So yeah, I never do tricks because it's the same thing. Like when years ago, I used to work. I used to work restaurants. I used to work a lot of restaurants. I had like 4 restaurants at one time, all at the same time. Different night a week, and I was busy. And it was great. It was good money, and it's an easy way to get into the world of doing magic professionally, to get paid to do magic. And sometimes I still want to go do that, right? And I like doing restaurant magic. It's fun. I don't like looking for restaurants to go perform, but having one is great. But my idea is I thought I'd have to go in and meet the manager as a cold call. I'd just go in to a restaurant, meet the manager, and then do some tricks for him. He'd go, "Wow, that's great. You're hired." It doesn't work that way, right? Because what they really care about is they don't care that you can do magic tricks. I mean, it's fun, and it's a nice diversion from their day, maybe, if they get to see you do a magic trick. But that's not a reason for them to give you money, right? You're not a busker. What service are you providing? What are you proposing to provide me in value that I should pay you, right? Seems like a simple concept, but we forget this as magicians. We think we can just go, wiggle our fingers. Everybody goes, "Wow, that's amazing!" And they just throw buckets of money at you. It doesn't work that way, right? You have to know what value you give, and then deliver that value, right? So in the restaurant setting, and this is a lecture I've thought about talking about because I have so many years in restaurant magic. I know so much about restaurant magic; it's ridiculous. And maybe that's where I'll talk about. Maybe that's what my lecture will be about. But what you provide to the restaurant is you provide a couple things. One, if you have a busy night, then you help the servers not get what's called in the weeds, because if they are running around a table, let's say they each have 6 tables or something, and they're running around like crazy trying to keep everybody, and it's busy, there's high turnover, and there's like all these things happening, and they're like just overwhelmed. By being able to slow people down a little bit or run interference on behalf of a server at a table, you are helping them out to catch a breath. You are also preventing possible meal comps, which is where people get upset about how long the meal is taking or something being wrong, and then the manager has to give away a free meal to keep the customer happy. You can do a lot just there, mitigating that, distracting people with something fun. They don't realize how long it takes for the food to come out, or if there's a mistake, they're in a better mood and it's easier to fix while they're distracted. Or if it's a slow night, say, that can be a way to bolster business, because if you now have this feature, like, people, you see it all the time with the kids eat free night, right? Where they're trying, hey, look, come in and come and eat free, because we're gonna, guess what, you can do that with a magician instead. You could say, hey, look, Wednesday nights, we have a magician. And something else you'll find, if it's a family restaurant, children almost always. So there's a couple things and these are stereotypical categories, but they're generally true. Okay. If you work a birthday party, generally, most often, the person making the final purchasing decision is mom. Mom is who decides whether or not you're going to get hired. Okay. In a restaurant, a family restaurant, the kids most often decide, and I can attest to this as a father, the kids most often decide where the family's eating. And so if you are a magician in a restaurant, at a family restaurant, and that restaurant has a magician, guess where all the kids are going to want to bring their families to go? They're going to want to go to the place that has the magician. And so that can bolster slow nights and really bring in a lot of extra business for the restaurant. And the idea is you want to pay for yourself many times over to be there. You don't want to break even. You don't want to cost more than your value. You want to bring so much crazy value that it's a bargain. They can't believe how cheaply they can get you there. That's what you want to do. And then while you're doing that, market, business cards. Don't be slimy about it, but you're in a position where you're meeting the public. They've already seen and like you, and you're exposed to new people every week. Give them your card. Okay, yeah. See, and I learned that the hard way doing this. It's a school of hard knocks, man. I did not take formal marketing classes. I did not take business classes. I had a dream and a hope in my heart that I could make it doing this, and I'm very stubborn. And if I don't know how to do a thing, I go find the person who has the answer, and then get that from them. That's all there is to it, right? Just if you're determined enough, if you don't give up. That's the thing that people don't realize too about being a magician or an entrepreneur in general. An entrepreneur is how often you will fail, and that you have to get comfortable with failure. You have to invite failure. You have to embrace failure. You have to celebrate failure, because that is the only way that you grow. If everything's kind of okay, then it means you're probably doing something wrong. You have to fail to learn things and to get better. You can't get better if you don't fail. So most people give up way too early. Way too early. There are several points I can look at in my career over the last 13 years where I can go, yeah, that's a place that I think most people would have quit. 2020 is a good example of that. I don't know if I can say it without being demonetized yet, but the global illness that happened, I don't know that most people, in fact, I know a lot of my full-time friends could not survive that. Could not physically survive that, but their businesses couldn't. The only ones that were able to hold on were the ones that had a regular job. There's a lot of people who I mean, there's less competition for me now, which is, it's a fact. I mean, it doesn't feel good to say that, but there was less competition for me now that we're going back and the world's opening up a bit. But yeah, that would have stopped a lot of people. In fact, a lot of people at that time were worried about me, going, "Hey, are you okay? Do you need a job?" And I wasn't okay. It wasn't great, but I was not going to give it up. I was like, no, the world will open again, and I will go back to doing this. And people are going to want to meet. They're going to want to see each other in person. They're going to want to hug. They're going to want to shake hands. They're going to want to see live entertainment. And guess what? I'll be front in line to give that to people because I need that too. I understand we were all through something together, and I have something that I can help to celebrate, right? So I was ready. I was ready to just, no, that's not going to deter me. I learn how to market my app game. Yeah, you do. I don't even know you had an app game. Well, hey everybody, it has an app game. Go check it out. Send it to me. If it's an iOS, I'll check it out. I'd like to see it. But yeah, there are several points in my career where other people would have quit, where it gets hard, or you hit a wall and you go, I can't do anymore, or I've tried everything that I possibly can, and I'm hungry and I need money coming in, and that's fine. And I've had to do other things, like early in my career, I had a real slump where it was like, well, yeah. So I've had it actually a couple of times, right? So there was some times where I had a real slump and I was not making enough to support myself, or to take care of my girlfriend at the time, which was my wife. And I had to take side jobs, right? Like I had family members who were in other things like construction and that kind of stuff, and I would go build fences, and that's fine, right? But I never stopped doing the magic. I just said, okay, well, I got to go earn a couple bucks here and a couple bucks there. And it was more like a side gig than it was me going, okay, well, I'm going to become a fence builder now. Yeah, and I learned some valuable lessons from that too. But you have to have that determination, because there will be lots of times where it's easy to quit. It's definitely easy to quit. Nobody would blame you. In fact, there would be a lot of people encouraging you to quit, to go do something else. And you just got to, if you know you can produce results, you're good, that you can do it, you just have to figure out how. Then do what you have to in the meantime, but don't give up on that dream. Don't go do something else. Stick with it. Yeah. Yeah, and that's exactly it, Moon Eater. That's exactly it. You have to create there's the argument, or the idea of a client avatar. Understand who your client is, what magazines they read, what TV shows they watch, what social media platforms they're on, what they like to do for fun, and then be in all of those places. Right? Find out where they are, who they are, and where they are, what they worry about, what they dream about, what they're excited about. Solve those problems for them. Have that solution, because your message will be super on brand. It's way better to, you'll spend less money and you'll get higher quality for your work clients, right? So if you do kids' birthday parties, then you got to figure out where moms are, right? Again, mom's making most of the purchasing decisions, but you got to be where moms are. And beyond that, you have to know what kind of parties you want to do, what kinds of birthday parties you want to do. Do you want to do hyper themed birthday parties where you're doing like a Harry Potter birthday? Then you got to be places where you can be seen doing that, right? Or where you can deliver that message and be in front of them. You'll spend a lot more money. The more you niche down and you decide, okay, well, I want this hyper. It's way better than saying, hey, I'm a magician for all occasions. Hire me. You won't get anybody with that, right? You cast a wide net. You're not. You're really actually not. It's a wide net, and that the holes are this big. And there's a lot of people who are going to fall through that. It's you want to be a sniper. You want to go. That's the person I want right there. Just them. How do I get that? Right? How do I be in front of that person? And you spend a lot less money. You just pull your hair out a lot less. Just spend some time figuring out who you're, and then niche down. Right? What do you do? Who do you do? Who are you? What do you do? Who do you do it for? Why do you do it? And then be in front of the people that makes sense for. My dad once got scammed by the government. He had to start his business from scratch again. He always said it was hard, but had a family to feed, so he couldn't give up. No, and that's the other motivator. Yeah, if you lack motivation for yourself, and I'm not saying do this because, I mean, your pop was already in that position, and if I have to admit, if I was in a position where I had children when I started this business, I don't know that I would have stuck with it. I did have some freedoms and some luxuries that were afforded to me that I don't have anymore. I now have children who depend on me and a wife that depend on me. I can't not make money, right? I can't not be productive, right? I have to. And so it's very different now. That I have people that depend on me. You just do what you got to do. You know, your papa's already in that situation, and I already knew magic. For me to leave and start over would have meant that I could not have. I mean, I'm basically unemployable in any other position now, right? I've had people try to offer me sales jobs and that kind of stuff, or marketing jobs, and you know, in the course of performing, they're like, "Wow, you're a great salesman. Why don't you come work for me?" Like, no, I really don't want to, you know. Yeah, I mean, to have left Magic in 2020 would have been to give up my business and everything that I knew, and I knew that produced money, and then go try to take a chance on something else, and probably not realize immediate success in that. So. It weighed heavy on my heart for sure, but I you know, it's a decision everybody's got to make for themselves in their own situations. But yeah, it sounds like your dad was I'm trying to find the word that's not going to get me demonetized. Maybe I could say he. Oh, I don't have the button that I used to have for like bleeping me out. I used to have one. But yeah, sounds like your dad was a hard worker and a butt kicker, right? You guys, we've been going for about an hour and a half. It's getting close to 10 o'clock. I am getting tired, and my voice is getting dry. So thank you guys all for being here. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing, and not just subscribing, but hitting the bell. Huh? You like that? You like that? I know I'm hilarious. And also liking the video, because that really helps me with the algorithm a lot. Thank you guys all so much for being here with me tonight. It was amazing to hang out with you. I'm trying to be in here as many Fridays as possible. I'm going to start getting busy again. I know this coming Friday I'm booked again, so I'm not going to be able to be here next Friday. But generally Fridays at 8 or 9 p.m. I should be around. I started moving it earlier to 8 o'clock because I'm just getting old, and and I got a son who gets up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go to school every day, and so by the time 9 o'clock rolls around, I'm kind of done. So I want to make sure I have enough energy to come on here and do this and actually give you all the attention you deserve. So a lot of content coming out, a lot of reviews coming out, because I've purchased a bunch of Magic at the beginning of this year that I've been waiting to buy, and then we got some other cool ideas for some content. So stay tuned. If you're a channel member, you'll see a video come up pretty soon and this is for Minotaurs only, for Minotaurs and higher. But you'll get to see some kind of how you make the invisible elastic bracelets, and that'll be coming out pretty soon. And then I'll also have some really cool reviews coming out for y'all. So stay tuned. You guys are the best. Eat your vegetables. Go to bed on time. Don't toot in the car with the windows rolled up. And thank you all for your amazing support.